God is not punishing you, but nobody is telling you why you're still suffering. If you have been praying faithfully, trusting God genuinely, and still watching your life feel like it's falling apart, this message is not a coincidence. You didn't stumble onto this video. Something brought you here. And the question burning inside you right now, the one you might be ashamed to say out loud, is this: is God punishing me? Let's settle that question right now, with truth, not with comfort that fades. God is not punishing you, but understanding what He is doing in your pain will completely transform the way you walk through it. Here's what the church often gets wrong. We preach a faith that promises that obedience removes suffering. We tell believers that if they pray enough, give enough, believe enough, the hard seasons will lift. And then, when the hard seasons don't lift, people start doing the math, and the math tells them they must have done something wrong. The shame sets in, the silence follows, and then the distance from God grows, not because He moved, but because the pain convinced them they weren't welcome. This is one of the enemy's most effective lies, and it has driven faithful people away from the very God who is carrying them through the fire. Romans 5:3-4 says this: "We also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance character, and character hope." Notice the chain. Suffering doesn't produce shame. It doesn't produce punishment. It produces something. It is a process, not a penalty. Look at Joseph, sold by his own brothers, falsely accused, thrown into prison, by every human measure abandoned. But every single season of suffering was building something in him that comfort never could have built. The throne he eventually sat on required a character that the palace never could have formed. The pit did what the palace could not. Your suffering is not evidence that God has forgotten you. It is often evidence that He is trusting you with a process that will produce something extraordinary. But knowing this is not enough. Here is how you hold on when the pain doesn't make sense. Step 1. Stop measuring God's love by your circumstances. Circumstances lie. They told Joseph he was abandoned. They told Paul that prison was the end. They told every disciple that the cross was a defeat. Circumstances are temporary information. God's love is permanent truth. Step 2. Ask God what He is building, not just when He will end it. Most of our prayers in suffering are prayers for escape. Shift the prayer. Ask God, "What are you forming in me right now? What do you want me to see?" This single shift in prayer has unlocked more breakthroughs than most people realize. Step 3. Find someone further in their faith and ask them about their suffering. Every mature believer has a story where they didn't understand what God was doing until after it was over. Let their testimony be your anchor. You are not the first one to walk through this, and the ones who walked through it came out with a testimony that changed lives. Step 4. Hold on to hope as a discipline, not a feeling. Romans 5 says the character produces hope. Hope is not an emotion that visits when things look good. It is a decision you make every morning to believe that God is still writing your story, even when you can't see the next sentence. The most powerful thing you can say in your hardest season is not, "Lord, take this away." It is, "Lord, don't waste this." Nothing you have been through is wasted in the hands of God. Drop, "God is working in my waiting," in the comments if this reached you today. Let it be your declaration over the season you are walking through. Subscribe to this channel. We are building something here for believers who refuse to quit, who want their faith to go deeper, their understanding to grow stronger, and their trust in God to be unshakable.